The video showed him wearing a tank top and a safety helmet, squatting at the gate of a construction site while eating a boxed meal. When he was interviewed, he cursed angrily. "Are you crazy? What the hell can 5 million do? You can't even buy a decent sports car with that." Everyone in school mocked him for being greedy and vain, calling him a fake rich kid with sky-high ambitions and nothing but knockoff brands. But secretly, I spent money to chase him and finally got him. Everyone laughed at me, saying I was a fool with too much money to burn. I only prayed that my family wouldn't go bankrupt, so I could stay with Alex forever. Until one day, I attended a charity banquet and saw Alex casually donate 70 million. I was utterly shocked. Early in the morning, just as I walked into the lecture hall for a big class, my best friend shoved a phone in my face with a complicated look. She said, "Lily, the school heartthrob you've been secretly in love with, well, let's just say, you'd better watch this." In the video, Alex, who was always dressed cool and aloof, was now wearing a tank top and a construction helmet, squatting at the gate of a construction site eating a boxed meal with no image at all. And he was eating with relish. My eyes lit up. His skin is so fair, and those muscle lines on his arms look amazing. The perfect type, slim in clothes, muscular underneath. My friend rolled her eyes. Hopeless. She told me to focus. In the video, a female reporter walked over with a microphone and a camera to interview Alex. "If you had 5 million, how would you spend it?" At that, Alex's face suddenly turned pale, as if terrified. He quickly pulled out his badly cracked, beat-up phone and glanced at the balance. Then he let out a heavy sigh of relief. He snapped angrily at her. "Are you insane? How can you humiliate me like this?" The reporter was stunned, taken aback by his outburst. Her own temper didn't seem great either. She immediately scowled and turned to leave. But then she seemed to think of something. She turned back and explained, "We weren't looking down on you for working at a construction site. We just wanted to ask, if someone gave you 5 million, how would you spend it?" Alex grew even angrier. "And you say that's not insulting me? What is this, throwing scraps to a beggar? What the hell can 5 million do? You can't even buy a usable sports car with it." The reporter's dumbfounded expression was exactly the same as my friend's. Several classmates in the lecture hall seemed to be gossiping about Alex too. They said that after 4 years, it turned out he was never a rich kid. He spent money recklessly, yet couldn't even replace his shattered phone. All those expensive brands he wore, they claimed, were fake. My friend quickly urged me, "Lily, don't be stupid. Don't waste your feelings on someone like Alex. There are so many people chasing you, any of them is better than him." I shook my head and explained softly, "I like him, and it's not because of his money." The night of the freshman welcome party, I suddenly had acute alcohol allergy. I almost died right outside the restroom. The ambulance was stuck in traffic. Alex didn't hesitate, he cursed under his breath and carried me on his back, running 3 kilometers all the way to the hospital. I could still remember how, the moment he put me down, he collapsed to the ground, completely drained. The classroom suddenly went quiet. My friend nudged me urgently to look at the door. Alex walked in with a crossbody bag slung casually, his handsome face cold as ever, one hand in his pocket. He didn't seem to notice the strange looks from everyone. As usual, he walked straight to the first row in the middle. He stopped in front of the department's beauty he had been chasing for nearly a month. He placed a bottle of milk and a crab roe bun on her desk, just like he always did. Seeing that, my heart ached, my gaze dimmed. The person I had secretly loved for 3 years, loved someone else. I was about to look away when Alex's eyes suddenly met mine. Before I could panic, he had already looked away. I felt a pang of disappointment. Even though it was just a casual glance at the classroom, I cared so much. "You shouldn't bring me breakfast anymore." The department beauty, who used to smile shyly at Alex, now spoke with a conflicted look. Alex's expression eased, as if relieved. He immediately asked, "So, you're rejecting me?" She seemed unsure how to reply. But her roommate couldn't hold back and snapped. Don't you have any self-awareness? You spend weekends hauling bricks at a construction site, and still force yourself to buy 200 yuan crab roe buns every day for Emily. Do you know how classmates mock her because of you? Alex looked confused. They mock her? What's that got to do with me? He frowned, puzzled, and went to sit behind me. Alex always sat in the last row. And I always asked my friend to save the seat in front of him, just so I could be close. Thinking that Alex was sitting right behind me, I tensed up, my back numb with nerves. I didn't even dare to turn my head. A few guys who usually hung out with Alex came over, grinning. Alex, we heard you think 5 million isn't worth looking at. That it can't even buy a sports car? We never realized you were such a bragger. Yeah, we're curious, where do you get the courage to look down on 5 million? I heard Alex chuckle coldly. What? Did I say anything wrong? The others twitched their mouths, wanting to argue. But the bell rang, and they had to return to their seats. I could feel that everyone looked down on Alex. But my thought was completely different. If Alex liked money, that would be perfect. I hesitated for half an hour before sending a message to my dad's secretary. After the second class, I finally gathered enough courage. I pulled out the brand new phone the secretary had delivered to me. I turned, only to meet Alex's still sleepy, lazy narrow eyes. He seemed startled by my sudden turn, instantly awake. He stared at me, expressionless. What is it? My heart was about to leap out of my chest under his gaze. My face was burning hot. I quickly placed the phone box on his desk. Your phone seems broken. This is for you. My friend and a few classmates who hadn't left yet all thought I was an idiot. When Alex picked up the box, someone immediately mocked, don't tell me he's actually going to accept it. Alex's hand paused as he was about to open it. I panicked. Without thinking, I blurted out loudly. Alex, stop working at construction sites to earn living expenses. I'll support you. I'm rich. Do you want to be with me? Everyone thought I had gone insane. I knew Alex was rumored to be vain, yet I still liked him. But now, money was my only advantage. A low chuckle came from Alex's throat. Those beautiful eyes of his curved with amusement. Even his voice carried joy. All right. I really am rich. You can buy anything you want, just think about. His words overlapped mine. When I realized it, my eyes widened in disbelief. Alex, agreed? He swung his bag over his shoulder and looked at me standing there frozen. With a faint smile, he said, aren't you going to support me? I'm hungry. I nearly stumbled as I followed him out, stiff as a fool. I wanted to take him to the most expensive restaurant in the city, to prove I truly had money. But Alex brought me to a small restaurant I loved. I was nervous, my mind completely blank, my hands and feet awkward. Trying to start a conversation, I asked. You like this place too? Alex's hand, pouring tea for me, paused for a second. Then he smiled lightly and nodded. Yeah. The durian sashimi, golden fried shrimp, crab stick rolls, Thousand Island sashimi, they're all good. My eyes lit up instantly. I was thrilled, his taste was exactly the same as mine. Those were all my favorite dishes. After we finished eating, I hurried to pay. But the waiter said Alex had drawn the free meal prize. I was confused as I left with him. This restaurant had been open for 4 years, how had I never heard of such a prize? Before I could figure it out, Alex walked me back to my apartment outside campus. Just as he turned to leave, I blurted out. Alex, we're boyfriend and girlfriend now, right? Alex froze slightly, then his eyes curved with a smile. See you tomorrow, my sugar mama girlfriend. That phrase my girlfriend from Alex. It made me so happy I almost didn't sleep all night. I completely ignored the words sugar mama. In the middle of the night, I wanted to text him just to confirm again. But when I unlocked my phone, I realized, embarrassed, that we weren't even friends online. Alex and I were in different classes. We only had 2 big lectures together each week. In fact, in more than 3 years, we had barely spoken. Almost all the time, it was just me secretly watching him. Watching him feed stray cats, then take them to the vet for shots. Watching him shine on the basketball court, drenched in youthful sweat. Watching him get stopped and confessed to by pretty girls. Watching him always sleep in class, yet still ranking first in the department every year. After a sleepless night, I nearly overslept for class. But I wasn't looking forward to school today anyway, because we didn't have a shared lecture. In our senior year, we only had 2 months of classes before internships. 2 months was too short. I didn't want to waste even a minute, but Alex's afternoon classes were in the lab building, far across campus. I wouldn't get to see him. I debated adding him as a friend just to message him, but worried it would seem too deliberate. When class ended, I was about to head to the cafeteria with my friend. At the entrance, there was a stir. I walked out and froze wide-eyed when I saw Alex leaning against a pillar, his broad shoulders and handsome face as striking as ever. When he saw me, he came straight toward me. I stood rooted to the spot, clueless how to react. He came closer, closer, his lips nearly brushing mine, his breath tickling my face. I almost screamed. He was going to kiss me in front of everyone? This was too fast. Too bold. I instinctively shut my eyes, frozen. Then his deep, magnetic voice sounded right by my ear. Sugar mama, hungry, food. I snapped my eyes open. Alex was standing right in front of me, his beautiful gaze filled with playful amusement. I realized I had misunderstood, and my face flushed crimson. Alex led me toward the cafeteria. On the way, plenty of people pointed and whispered. The moment we entered the cafeteria, the stares became even more obvious. Alex ignored everyone, told me to sit down, and went to get food for us. Around me, I heard unrestrained laughter and mocking voices. Yeah, that's him, the one who said 5 million wasn't worth anything. I heard he agreed to date Lily just for money. Exactly. He caved for a phone worth a few thousand. And he used to act so aloof, like no one was good enough. Turns out, when those girls confessed, it was just because they didn't bring cash. My chest burned with anger. I shot up from my seat and shouted loudly. Yes, my family is rich. Yes, I'm willing to spend money on Alex, tens of thousands, millions, even tens of millions, and I wouldn't blink. So what? The once noisy cafeteria fell into dead silence. My friend covered her face, wishing she could disown me. Alex arrived with 2 trays of food, placed them down, and spoke lazily. His voice was clear and pleasant, laced with joy. I just love dating rich, beautiful girls. What, you jealous? Too bad, you're not as handsome as me, not as smart as me, and your girlfriends aren't as pretty as mine, let alone willing to spend money on you. Everyone whispered that this was the first time they realized Alex's shamelessness was thicker than a city wall. Such an embarrassing thing, yet he said it with pride. To make sure they choked, Alex even pulled out the brand new obsidian-colored phone I'd bought him yesterday. He flipped it coolly in his hand, sighing. Damn, this phone is so expensive, it even looks good. I seized the chance to add him as a friend. And I couldn't stop smiling. So Alex and I started dating in school, under countless scornful, mocking, even disgusted gazes. Behind my back, people called me an idiot, saying you could never buy real love with money. Deep down, I was nervous too, terrified that if my money ran out, Alex would dump me instantly. I even texted my dad. Dad, could our family ever suddenly go bankrupt? If it happens, you have to warn me in advance so I can save money. Ding. My dad sent back a furious voice message. How did I raise such a troublesome daughter? Always cursing us to go bankrupt. Relax, we have enough money for you to splurge for 100 years. I was finally reassured. I even showed the messages to Alex. See? My family is super rich. Looks like you'll be mine forever. Every time I texted him, Alex always replied instantly. At your command, my beautiful sugar mama. Please take care of me for the rest of my life. My heart bubbled with honey, and I rolled happily on my bed. The more I thought about it, the more I felt it was worth spending money to win him over. Alex was so good to me. I didn't know if it was coincidence, but every time we ate out, he ordered exactly the dishes I loved. When we had classes, Alex would wait for me at the classroom door almost every noon and evening, to eat together. If he couldn't make it, he'd tell me in advance, never leaving me waiting. During our shared lectures, he always brought me exquisite breakfasts. But those breakfasts were ridiculously expensive, gourmet meals from the city's best restaurant. Some required reservations, with crystal dumplings costing hundreds each, some even thousands. Yet Alex never accepted my money, saying he had relatives working there and the breakfasts were free. What made me happiest was that some wealthy girls, hearing that Alex loved money, tried to woo him with cash. But Alex rejected them without hesitation. He said, "They're neither as rich as you, nor as pretty as you." That day, when Alex and I had another lecture together, he came and sat beside me as usual. He took out a delicate jewelry box, winked playfully at me, and nearly made me faint on the spot. "Here. A 1-month anniversary gift." I snapped back to reality, utterly shocked. A pang of guilt struck me. I suddenly remembered it had been a month since we started dating. Yet I hadn't bought him anything valuable, nor had I ever thought about what he might like. As his so-called sugar mama girlfriend, I was far too unqualified. After class, I rushed to my friend, asking what gift I should buy in return. My friend twitched her lips, giving me a look like she saw right through it. Obviously, the more expensive, the better. He gives you a cheap gift first, just so you'll feel guilty and give him something pricey. Lily, wake up already. I wanted to argue, how could she be so sure it was cheap before I even looked? So I sneaked into the restroom, opened Alex's gift, and froze. Inside was the newest diamond necklace from Minasa, worth at least $3 million. And it wasn't fake. I had been eyeing it for 2 weeks but forced myself not to buy it. Where on earth did Alex get this? Well, I was baffled. My friend mysteriously showed me 2 photos. Before I looked, she reminded me to stay calm and not be hurt. The first photo, Alex hugging a curvy, attractive woman in front of a luxury car. The second, Alex opening the car door for her, shielding her gently as she got in. My friend saw me staring silently. So she tried to comfort me. "Lily, don't be upset. If Alex can be with you for money, he can be with another woman for money too. He's not worth your tears." I didn't say a word. I directly sent the photos to Alex, asking, "The gift you gave me, did she give it to you?" This time, it took him nearly 10 minutes to reply. "You found out? Do you like the gift?" My friend nearly screamed in disbelief. How dare Alex admit it so casually? Is he trying to break up with you? My heart sank at first. But then a different thought hit me, and I was touched. He actually used money from another woman who's keeping him, just to buy me a gift. I never imagined Alex would go this far for me. He could have just enjoyed my support without sacrificing anything. Did this mean he had some feelings for me? My friend didn't get it at all. "You don't mind?" she asked, confused. Of course I minded. But more than that, I felt sorry for him. He's such a fool. Does he think I'm not rich enough? It's time I showed him just how wealthy I really am. I would make sure Alex gave up on chasing other sugar mamas completely. But first, I had to confirm one thing. I immediately texted him. "Have you kissed her? Slept with her?" A reply came quickly. "No." Why did his exclamation point feel like it was typed through gritted teeth? I didn't think too hard about it. I was simply glad he hadn't had time to cheat before I caught him. Otherwise, I'd have been devastated. 2 days later, since neither of us had class, I invited Alex to walk with me on the school's largest sports field. As we strolled, I suddenly collapsed into his arms. He panicked, catching me at once, his handsome face full of worry. "Lily, what's wrong?" I tried to look as pale as possible. "I'm dizzy." "Low blood sugar?" "I'll take you to the infirmary." He was about to lift me into his arms. I quickly clutched his hand tightly, shaking my head. "No, I must be seriously ill. I have to call my dad, he'll send our helicopter to take me to the hospital." Before Alex could act faster, I grabbed my phone and dialed my dad. No answer. He was probably in a meeting. So I quickly sent him a text. "Dad. I fainted. Send the family helicopter to the sports field to fly me to the hospital right away." After sending it, I noticed Alex's expression. He seemed amused, yet also helpless. I stubbornly leaned against him, clutching his hand. He knelt with one knee, holding me upright, staying by my side. I grew anxious, glancing at my phone repeatedly. 5 minutes passed. Still no reply from Dad. Worried Alex would see through my act, I sneaked a look at his face. But he was just texting someone, then quickly closed his phone and asked, "Still feeling unwell?" I nodded firmly. "Not until my family helicopter comes. Otherwise, I won't get better." I was determined to show off in front of him, no matter what. But minutes ticked by. Nearly 20 minutes. The helicopter still hadn't come. I was running out of excuses. And I could swear Alex had been holding back laughter several times already. Ding. Finally, a message arrived. I hurriedly opened it. My dad's furious voice message blasted out. "Every other man's daughter is a sweet little angel. And mine? A holy sack of trouble. You fainted yet still have the strength to text me? Be honest, what nonsense are you pulling this time? If you had the time to wait for a helicopter, you could have called 911 and been there already." I nearly spat blood. "What the hell, Dad? You're not sending the helicopter? So all my acting had been for nothing?" Worse, my attempt to show off had completely failed. Now how was I supposed to make Alex fall hopelessly for me? I frowned, glancing up at Alex's perfectly sculpted jawline. Tentatively, I asked, "How about, you carry me home first? Then we can take the helicopter to the hospital?" Alex's long eyes curved with a smile. He was about to speak. But suddenly, the sound of helicopter blades filled the air. Excited, I looked up. Sure enough, a helicopter was approaching and slowly landing on the field. Everyone nearby was staring in shock. I leapt to my feet. "See? My dad always says no, but he secretly gives in." Alex pressed his lips together, smiling, and nodded. "Not dizzy anymore?" I quickly remembered myself, wobbled my legs, and collapsed back into his arms. Resting my head against his chest, I could hear his strong, rapid heartbeat. When the helicopter landed, I urged Alex to help me over. But the closer we got, the more I felt something was wrong. The color, the pilot, they weren't from my family. "Lily, why aren't you getting on?" Alex noticed my hesitation, confused. I glanced around, everyone's eyes were on us. If I admitted this wasn't my family's helicopter, would Alex be disappointed, even angry? I hesitated, not knowing what to say. Then the pilot spoke. "Young miss, the chairman asked me to take you to the hospital." My eyes widened. So it was my family's helicopter? Had Dad switched pilots? I straightened up proudly and grabbed Alex's hand, pulling him aboard without hesitation. Beaming, I told him. "My dad said this helicopter cost him $200 million. I'll take you on a flight now, you'll see how spectacular the city looks from above." Alex chuckled, eyebrows raised. "Weren't we going to the hospital?" Ahem, I was just blinded by the sun earlier. "I'm fine now. But since the helicopter's here, we can't waste the fuel." Alex only smiled knowingly, not saying if he believed me. After circling the city, I asked the pilot to land us at the private heliport near the scenic beach. Hand in hand, Alex and I walked along the sand in the evening sea breeze. The sunset was beautiful. But Alex's sharp, handsome profile seemed gilded in golden light, more dazzling than anything. His skin was flawless, smooth as porcelain. I envied him. Despite working construction, he was still so fair-skinned. Being with him filled me with joy. Even if he only cared about my money, he still treated me with tender care. He remembered every word I said. If I wanted food, sometimes he brought it to my door even at midnight. And the way he looked at me. Affectionate, indulgent. It almost felt like real love. I wanted to bind him to me forever, even if it took money. I stopped walking, turning him to face me. I held his other hand, looked up into his deep eyes, and said seriously, "Alex, I know it's not right to tempt you with money. But I really like you. That night of the freshman party, when you carried me to the hospital, drenched in sweat, barely breathing, yet never once thought of putting me down, that was the first time I felt so safe on someone's back. At the hospital, when I was taken away, you collapsed on the ground, yet the first thing you did was urge the doctor to treat me first. I don't care how much you love money, I believe in your character. So please, promise me. While you're with me, don't be with anyone else. If you want money, just ask me. If one day you truly hate me and want someone else, tell me. I'll give you a huge breakup fee, I'll never cling to you. But I don't want to share you with anyone. That would break my heart." As soon as I finished, Alex suddenly pulled me into a tight embrace. His scent was cool, like pine and snow, refreshing and addictive. Being in his arms, I felt like his whole world. He sighed softly, whispering into my ear, "Silly girl. You're the only one for me." And I chose to believe him. The next half-month was sweet beyond words. After realizing I'd never given him gifts, I began showering him with clothes, shoes, belts, lighters. Even tailored suits, ties, diamond cufflinks, brooches, and a luxury car for his internship. I even wanted to introduce him to my dad's company. After all, Alex was top of the class, he was absolutely capable. But Alex refused only this. He said, "Right now, you're supporting me. In the future, I'll support you." I didn't know if he meant it seriously or just to coax me. But it made me happy. What puzzled me was that Alex never asked me for money directly. He only asked me to buy things if he needed them. Even stranger, he often gave me gifts in return. They looked valuable, too. When I asked where he got the money, he said they were old gifts from others, didn't cost him anything. I didn't refuse. After all, if other girls gave him gifts, I'd rather keep them myself. Half a month later, we were about to start internships. I wished I could stick to him every second. That day, we were heading out to eat. But just as we left campus, we ran into a couple. The girl was none other than Emily, the department beauty Alex had once pursued. She pointed to the tall, average-looking guy beside her. "This is my boyfriend. His dad is the richest man in J City. I already have a boyfriend. Can you stop sending me messages?" I glanced at Alex. He looked baffled at first. Then realization dawned, and he frowned. "Why don't you just block me? Why let me keep sending messages?" Emily's face turned cold. "Why should I be the one to block you? Alex, have some self-awareness. I could never like you." Alex retorted sharply. "Who cares if you do?" Emily didn't reply. She just gave me a pitying look and sneered. "Lily, keep a tight hold on your money-bought boyfriend. Don't let him harass others." Any other time, I'd have fired back. But the truth was, Alex had once liked her. I was speechless, letting her shoulder check me with disdain. She tilted her chin and said arrogantly before leaving, "They call you the department beauty? What a joke. Even your boyfriend has to be bought with money." Ice filled my veins. Uneasy, I turned to Alex. Lily, don't listen to her. I've never even added her as a friend, let alone messaged her. Look. He immediately pulled out his phone. Sure enough, Emily wasn't on his friend list. But I didn't dare ask if he had a secret account. I only asked stiffly. Do you still like her? Alex snorted coldly, shaking his head. I never liked her. I frowned. Impossible. You're lying. You bought her breakfast every day for a month. I couldn't stop myself from bringing up the past. Looking him straight in the eye, I said seriously. I don't mind if you once liked someone else. But you promised, while dating me, it can only be me. Frustration clouded Alex's face. I didn't want to push further. I feared that if I did, I might lose him instantly. I tried to walk away, but he grabbed my hand. Lily, I swear, I've never liked anyone else. That breakfast wasn't from me, it was from my old roommate, David. He helped me out before, so he asked me to deliver breakfast to Emily for a month. I couldn't say no. He said he'd explain clearly in the messages that it was him, not me. But clearly, he never did. Let me show you the chat record right now. He opened his phone, but then froze. And cursed. Damn. I forgot, this is the new phone you gave me. My old one broke at the construction site and I threw it out. But don't worry, we'll go find David now and get the chat logs from him. From his expression, I saw no trace of deceit. I chose to believe him. It's already noon. Let's eat first. So we spent the afternoon eating and watching a movie. Alex sensed I was still downhearted. When he dropped me off, he promised. I'll send you the chat screenshots tonight. Because of that, I stayed up the whole night. But he didn't send them. He said he couldn't reach David, he might have gone back home, where there was no signal. Alex promised he'd send me the proof the moment he contacted him. He was trying hard to prove himself. I told myself I should trust him. But deep down, unease gnawed at me. After all, I had used money to win him from the start. And in over a month of dating, he had never once said the words "I like you." How could I dare hope for too much? I adjusted my mindset and stayed with him as usual. Talking about our upcoming internships. I'd go directly to my dad's company. Alex, however, was incredible. He had gotten into Hengtong Semiconductor, a global top 100 company. I told him I'd celebrate with him tomorrow night. But then my dad said I had to accompany him to a charity banquet instead. He forbade me from refusing, saying I was about to graduate and couldn't act spoiled anymore. Like last time, you suddenly claimed to faint and demanded a helicopter. Obviously you just wanted to stir up trouble. How could I ever allow that nonsense? What? You mean you didn't send the helicopter last time? I was stunned, instantly checking our backyard helicopter. Sure enough, it wasn't the same as the one that came to the sports field that day. So what happened that day? Was I dreaming? I couldn't figure it out. Nor did I dare ask Alex, fearing he'd think the helicopter wasn't ours and that my family wasn't actually rich. I kept my doubts to myself. Maybe Dad had been lying, maybe our helicopter was broken and he rented another. I called Alex to tell him I couldn't celebrate tomorrow because of the banquet. He said he couldn't make it either, but hinted he might give me a surprise. I began looking forward to it. On the day of the charity banquet, I dressed carefully. Wearing a gown that highlighted my figure yet stayed elegant. The banquet was lively, with many attendees. Everyone took their seats in order. My dad said nearly all the top tycoons of the city were present. And warned me not to embarrass him. I patted my chest, assuring him I'd behave, it wasn't my first banquet. Our seats were near the front, reflecting my dad's high status. After all, he was one of the city's top 5 giants. I couldn't keep turning my head to look around, that would be rude. The charity auction soon began. My dad spent $50 million to win a sapphire. Others spent anywhere from a few million to over $30 million. Then came the final item, a tear-shaped gem called the Tears of the Stars, stunningly beautiful, with a galaxy seemingly hidden inside. I fell in love at first sight. But it was too expensive. I raised my paddle 3 times, and the price quickly shot past 30 million. It kept rising, reaching 55 million. It seemed about to close. 60 million. A familiar voice rang out. I whipped my head around in shock. There sat Alex, in a sharp suit, looking dazzlingly handsome. He even winked at me. I stared at him, dumbstruck. As if nothing unusual had happened, he raised his hand again when others bid. 70 million. My eyes nearly popped out. Where the hell did he get that kind of money? As I reeled, a glamorous woman beside him casually signed a check and slid it to him. The moment I saw her face, my blood drained. It was her, the woman in the photos my friend had shown me, the one Alex was hugging. So this was his so-called surprise? More like a nightmare. After the auction ended, the banquet began. I watched that woman link arms with Alex and approach me. I knew her. She was the president of Hengtong. She even had business with my dad. A legendary woman. Though born to a wealthy family, she had hidden her identity and built her empire almost from scratch. Even my dad admired her. Next to her, I was nothing more than a clown in the mud. If Alex chose her, who could fault him? If it had been anyone else, I might have flaunted my dad's wealth and crushed them with money. But facing a woman this outstanding, I had no courage. I dreaded hearing Alex compare me unfavorably. That I only squandered my family's money, binding him with wealth. I panicked and ran, pretending I needed the restroom. I heard Alex asking my dad where I went. Terrified, I ran faster, eventually sneaking out of the banquet. Before I got home, my dad called, asking if I had fallen into the toilet. I hurriedly lied, saying I felt unwell and went home early. Soon after, Alex called. I wanted to hang up, but I couldn't. Your dad said you weren't feeling well? What's wrong? Should I come to you? Hearing his worried tone, my eyes burned. I almost cried. Afraid he'd hear my choked voice, I quickly said. No, I'm fine. Just a little cold and tired. I wanted to go home first. I didn't know if he caught the change in my voice. I vaguely heard a woman speaking beside him. Then he said, all right. See you tomorrow at school. I'll give you a surprise. The word surprise nearly crushed me with dread. When I got back to my apartment, Alex sent photos. Gathering courage, I opened them. They were chat logs from 3 months ago with his roommate David. The messages showed clearly, David had asked Alex to deliver breakfast to Emily for a month. David had gone for training, then back home, and since Emily liked crab roe buns, he had Alex deliver them during class. Even the harassing messages Emily claimed Alex sent were actually David's daily greetings. I was stunned, Alex really hadn't liked Emily. But before I could rejoice, another message came from him. To be honest, agreeing to deliver breakfast was partly selfish. I wanted to test if you cared. If I had seen this earlier, I would have been overjoyed, convinced Alex liked me. But tonight, fear not at me. Did he say the same sweet things to every sugar mama? Especially that stunning woman tonight. She was so beautiful and powerful, even I might have fallen for her. How could I compete? I thought I'd toss and turn all night. But instead, I fell asleep instantly. The next day, dread filled me as I entered campus. What if Alex appeared, arm in arm with that woman? The moment I walked in, people gave me strange looks. My stomach knotted. Had word spread already? Had they seen Alex with her? My legs trembled as I stepped into the lecture hall. The moment I entered the lecture hall, everyone fell silent, staring at me with complicated expressions. They occasionally glanced at Emily, who sat in the front row, her head down. Lily, come here. My friend waved me over urgently. As soon as I reached her, she pulled up a video. Clicking her tongue, she muttered. Honestly, Lily, I admire you the most. If you hadn't revealed your wealthy identity to chase Alex, no one would have discovered you're a rich heiress. And your choice in boyfriends, truly amazing. Confused, I looked at the video. It was the same street interview of Alex eating at the construction site. I frowned. My friend urged me to keep watching. After Alex scoffed that $5 million couldn't even buy a sports car. There was additional footage. The reporter, annoyed, teased him. When I asked about $5 million, you checked your balance. Did you think someone really transferred $5 million to you? Alex sneered. Who cares about $5 million? I thought my balance had dropped to $5 million, it almost scared me to death. The reporter's mouth twitched. Can we see your balance then? Alex glanced at her, then nodded. The camera zoomed in on his cracked phone. The moment his balance appeared, my jaw nearly hit the floor. A long string of digits stretched across the screen. I had to pause and count slowly. Tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, tens of millions, billions. Over 3 billion sat in his account. Even my dad didn't have that much cash on hand. I reeled, remembering last night's 70 million bid. So that money was his own? Who was Alex, really? My friend was even more shocked. Lily, did you know all along he was this rich? You sneaky thing, hiding him so tightly. Before I could reply, the classroom fell silent again. Alex had entered, everyone's gaze following him with awe. But suddenly, Emily blocked his path, eyes red, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and longing. Alex, Without pausing, Alex bypassed her. He walked straight to me, casually placing a beautifully wrapped box on my desk. Then his long, slender fingers touched my forehead gently. How's your health? Still unwell? I stared at him blankly and shook my head. He chuckled softly, dotting my forehead with his finger. Fool. He sat beside me, leaned close, and whispered. You're getting cuter every day. He gestured toward the box. A gift. Open it. Inside was the dazzling tears of the stars. I looked at him in shock. Do you like it? I saw you raise your paddle several times yesterday. I understood. He had bid only because he saw I wanted it. Knowing Alex had more money than my family left me dazed all day. Ever since the full interview was revealed. Whenever we walked on campus, countless girls approached Alex. Asking for directions, trying to bump into him, even pretending to fall into his arms. But Alex always tugged me along, avoiding them smoothly without a glance back. I finally learned that the woman at the charity banquet was his sister, over 10 years older than him. He told me he also had twin younger siblings. His dad, Alex Sr., was obsessed with having children, constantly showering his wife with love. Alex even teased. When my parents heard about me being ostracized at school, they asked when I'd bring my sugar mama girlfriend home. Remembering what I'd done, my face burned red. I snapped, embarrassed. Then tell me, why the hell were you eating at a construction site that day, dressed like that, with a broken phone? Who wouldn't misunderstand? Alex smiled, explaining. My dad sent me. Since freshman year, whenever I had free weekends, he made me work at his companies, every department. He said I had to experience every job firsthand, to understand employees' struggles and learn the business better. That day I was unlucky, my phone fell and got crushed by a machine. I blushed harder. Then it hit me. The time I faked fainting on the field, the helicopter, that was you, wasn't it? My dad swore he didn't send it. You only realized now? His words made me want to crawl into a hole. Why had he indulged me back then? Unable to hold back, I stammered nervously. You weren't after money, so, why did you agree to date me? I didn't notice his eyes soften as he gazed at me. Silly girl, you still can't guess? I wasn't stupid, I just didn't dare believe. Alex was too perfect. I feared I was only imagining things. He ruffled my hair with a sigh, his voice low and magnetic. The incomplete interview video? I leaked it myself. I figured, if that still couldn't catch a certain silly girl's attention, then these years had been wasted. I never expected you'd not only notice me, but publicly try to buy me with money. That was an unexpected bonus. I stared wide-eyed. He had spread the video himself, willing to be ridiculed, just to get my attention? He went on. You said you only noticed me at the freshman party. But I noticed you even earlier. The very first day, at the school gate. Under the blazing sun, you stood with an umbrella, watching over a stray cat that had been hit by a car, desperately waiting for the vet. When you learned the cat could be saved, your smile was so beautiful. From that moment, I couldn't stop watching you. I could barely remember that incident. I couldn't believe that was how Alex noticed me. He actually liked me too? My heart pounded wildly. Unable to resist, I teased. If you liked me so much, why didn't you confess? Alex wrapped an arm around me, indulgent yet helpless. Don't you know your nickname on campus? The Heartbreaker Beauty. Everyone who confessed to you got turned down politely. You even announced you'd never date in college. I muttered, that's because none of them were you. His amused laugh tickled my ear. My fault then. I should have confessed directly, instead of hoping you'd notice me at basketball games, where I showed off every time, just waiting for you to bring me water. I nearly fainted. Did he think I didn't want to? I just didn't dare. He rejected every girl's water. Perhaps seeing my disbelief, he added. Every shared lecture, we sat together, didn't we? Every time I topped the class. Every time I walked past you, hoping you'd look at me. Even delivering breakfast for Emily, that was partly selfish. I wanted to see if you'd mind. I had almost given up hope. I thought, if even the interview video didn't work, then I'd just use a business marriage to bind you. I was stunned speechless. Alex liked me this much? No wonder he always ordered my favorite dishes, bought my favorite things. For the first time, I tasted the sweetness of mutual love. It was enough to carry us through a lifetime. I hadn't expected that my dad already knew Alex's true identity. The heir of the Shaw financial empire. When he found out Alex was my boyfriend, his first words were, "So it's him." Everyone in business knows his father, Alex Sr., is a wife-obsessed maniac, always flaunting his wife or bragging about his centuries-old ginseng. Tell me, is Alex like that too? I shook my head quickly, then faltered, feeling a pang of loss. Alex has never posted a photo of me on social media. Before I could finish, my friend bombarded me with screenshots. Lily, stop him already. I'm drowning in dog food. I opened them in confusion. They were all Alex's posts. Today, Lily went home. I miss her, miss her. Today is Lily's third day at work. Miss her, miss her, miss her. Today's tie is Lily's Valentine's gift. Looks great. Lily is so talented, she made me a lunchbox herself. Delicious. The photo showed a burnt egg with purplish rice. How had I never seen these posts? My dad glanced at the screenshots, then patted my shoulder warmly. Good. Seems spoiling one's wife senseless really is their family tradition.